All these reports of advanced ticket sales, lead actors being kept away from the limelight, genius marketing strategies, such incredible music, my expectations were real high. All I have to say after having watched the movie now is, what are you guys talking about? Hey y'all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel where today we're talking about Mohit Suri's Saiyaara starring Aneet Padda and Ahan Pandey in the lead roles. कुछ फिल्में इंटीमेट कैरेक्टर्स और छोटी छोटी स्लाइस ऑफ लाइफ कहानियों को लेकर बड़ी बड़ी बातें कह जाती हैं बातों ही बातों में. सैयारा इसके बिल्कुल अलग है, एकदम ऑपोजिट, इन दैट इट डिप्लॉयज द लार्जेस्ट मोस्ट मेलोड्रामेटिक ग्रैंड जेस्चर्स टू टेल अ टाइनी लिटिल स्टोरी दैट डजंट क्वाइट हैव मच मीनिंग बियॉन्ड इट्स एग्जिस्टेंस एज अ बजी बॉलीवुड टाइटल. Let me explain. सबसे पहले we meet Vani Batra, who's played by Aneet Padda, a young woman reeling from being stood up at her wedding. Vani is so prone to being forlorn. Even on her wedding day, she's sitting and scribbling poems of true love. When we meet her again, 6 months after the event, she's still gazing silently and sadly out of a window. An image we will see repeated over and over and often. Her character development is stubbornly stuck on these visual cues of loneliness and longing because Vani as a character is given very little to do beyond being devastated. Things only happen to her. She's rarely allowed to willingly participate in her own life. Her grief is so stylized and performed. The real person beneath with life and trauma and conflicts that is needed for a drama like this never quite emerges. Then there is Krish Kapoor, a rebellious musician who smokes like a douchebag, wears a gym bag like a douchebag, and frowns like a douchebag. He's confident, but he's wounded. Which, if you don't quite understand right away, is established using the following shots in the first 2 sequences he's in. Alright, check this out. He beats up a journalist for reviewing his band, without consequences, may I add. He delivers angry lines about equality. He plays an electric guitar alone on a stage in the pouring rain as a crowd swells up around him, hardly believing their own good luck. He walks around half like Bhagat Singh, half like Jim Morrison. He has sex with a random white woman in a public bathroom. Violence से virility तक का सफर झटपट निपटाते हुए 2 ही सीक्वेंस में Krish Kapoor is here to say he is a man's man. पर्सोना बनाने के चक्कर में पर्सन तो लेकिन दिखा नहीं. Before we head toward the actual story, let me make this one thing clear. The problem here is not that these tropes exist. Many good stories and classics even are built on this familiar structure. The issue is that Saiyaara doesn't interrogate or subvert any of these tropes, despite the protagonists being Gen Z, the newest adult generation with some sort of life experience at this point to build their personalities upon. Because these tropes are outdated, and they have been for a while, these are the kind of things Amy Poehler would make fun of on her podcast. Will 2 city kids, one of whom is in a rock band and the other hosts a podcast for a digital publication, really say, "Abhi kuch pal aur bache hai mere paas," unironically? Soon enough, the film leans into the familiar dynamic of a broken man and the woman who's probably going to fix him. Krish has his own photo on his phone's wallpaper, so he loves himself the most, thanks to being ignored by an alcoholic widowed father, while Vani is a naazo se pali papagi pari who has never been taught to prioritize herself or deal with the real world at all. After a not-so-meet-cute, they get together to create a song she will write and he will compose for another famous singer. During this process, it becomes evident that alas, poor Vani is once more attracted to a man who is going to treat her like she doesn't know anything about anything at all. She says sorry when he yells at her. She listens in awe when he speaks. She says she can't marry him until he fulfills his destiny as a superstar. Her life, it can endlessly wait. Who cares? सब चिल्लाए मेरा नाम Krish, I love you. Krish, I love you. As Krish ascends to fame, thanks to an unexpected development, Vani begins to unravel emotionally and physically as her erasure becomes more and more complete. Writer Sankalp Sadhana perhaps might even be attempting a comment here on the cruelty of tempting fate. You see, a woman who never really wanted to be seen soon might only have that option available to her. Undoubtedly, from a writing point of view, it is a sincere, cruel twist of fate to base a love story upon. However, Saiyaara is so eager to drive its tragedy home that through its runtime, every single moment is high-intensity drama which gives way to more melodrama without allowing the viewer to settle into any feeling for longer than 10 seconds at a stretch. Almost every scene is pitched at the tonal equivalence of a climactic moment, over and over again with little progression or room for reflection. हर quiet और introspective moment को background score के सैलाब में अगर डुबा देंगे तो human condition पर जो टिप्पणी करने की कोशिश है वो tenderly human के अंदर प्रवेश शायद ना ही कर पाए, right? Also, for a film built heavily around a musician's journey, the soundtrack of Saiyaara is surprisingly indistinct. I honestly left the theatre humming Sohail Sen and Kausar Muni's Saiyaara Mein Saiyaara from YRF's own Ek Tha Tiger. While this film wants to be remembered as a musical love story, its soundscape doesn't offer the kind of emotional layers that a film like this demands. The music doesn't change shape or escalate or even adapt to the screenplay, barring perhaps a few notes in the title track Saiyaara, where you can hear a live audience sing along with Krish. The rest of the songs can be plucked from anywhere and plonked in somewhere else in the screenplay without much consequence. Look, Saiyaara clearly knows its aesthetic. Moody city lights, slow motion rain, lonely silhouettes of heartbroken people, all of it is designed by Mohit Suri to give the world another Aditya Roy Kapoor, another Shraddha Kapoor. And to a large extent, the attempt is successful once again. Aneet Padda, who was impressive in the otherwise unwatchable Prime Video series Big Girls Don't Cry, is once again just that, impressive. She's good looking, she's expressive. This just isn't the performance I would rest my judgment of her acting abilities upon. Similarly, for Ahan Pandey, there is so much to draw from while playing this heartbroken tough guy. The performance is undeniably derivative. Ranbir, Sanjay Dutt, Shahid. Krish Kapoor is an amalgam of many Hindi cinema heroes playing prevalent male archetypes. However, there is an unmistakable and undisputable spark there. I hope for more projects for the actor. Saiyaara does speak to heartbreak of various kinds and what that does to an otherwise normal seeming human life. When a partner dies, when someone leaves you, the pain of beginning to learn how to love for the first time, how an illness changes a relationship. Within one small life, people do experience most, if not all, of these feelings and the complicated impact and effects they have. However, in this film, all of this is said in language we've heard just too many times, often from director Mohit Suri himself. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Saiyaara is 3-4 baar Krish is shown to pick up a guitar and tens of hundreds of people just stop in their tracks in the middle of the day to just listen to him and then they start clapping like it's some sort of an Instagram reel. I'm seriously having a really tough time wrapping my head around the hype. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Or don't. I may or may not read. Who knows? What I do know is my name is Sucharita. We are getting so close to that 150,000 subscriber milestone. So click that subscribe button. Ekdam is video ke niche. And thank you for stopping by.